Hey everybody, it's Brent Harvey with A-Hole Productions, and today is Failure Friday. That's right. It's the day we talk about our failures and our flaws and the things that we screwed up on and learned from, and how we applied those lessons to get to where we are today and continue to move forward. For today's Failure Friday, I want to talk about getting fired and sleeping on a couch. That's right. So when I was living on the East Coast, I was going through a rough time in my life, and I was working construction, and my boss told me to do something that when I attempted to take another step so basically he asked me to drill a hole. I was doing some construction. He asked me to drill a hole in his floor to the upstairs so that we could run cable through it. So I went upstairs and I measured from where the wall was to where the hole was, because I wanted to see if there was anything in the way. So he was impatient. He started yelling at me. He's like, just drill the damn hole. And I was like, but I'm trying to. And before I got to explain what I was doing, he just started yelling at me and told me to drill the hole. So I go back downstairs and I drill the hole, and I hit something and it doesn't go through. So I pull it out. I drill another hole because I'm thinking I'm hitting a floor joist or something. And I drill about 4 or 5 holes. And then he comes down and he's wondering why I haven't drilled this hole yet. And I said, I keep hitting something. I don't know what it is. We ended up going upstairs, and because we were working on his house, he had taken this Egyptian rug that he got when he was like 20 years old, rolled it up, and put it up against the wall. And I was drilling actually into that. And because it was rolled up, it went through every layer. So he unrolls it and just sees all this damage I did, and he fires me instantly, even though it wasn't really my fault. Now, at the time, I was far below even living paycheck to paycheck. Like, paycheck to paycheck didn't even pay my bills. I was hurting pretty bad, and I was sleeping on my brother's couch for 1.5 years, and I ended up even just working another job at night, taking photos at the clubs to make some extra money to just try to survive. It was a tough time for me. Because losing that job, I lost all confidence, because it's like, if I can't even do something like that, or I couldn't get a job, because it was hard to get a job back then. I didn't know how I was going to survive. However, what I realize now is, like, going through that and just going, okay, like, I have no choice. I have to figure something out. And I ended up reaching out to people, and I forget what my next move was specifically, but I ended up getting another job, getting things to getting back on track, and I actually flourished after that. What I realized was, looking back at that moment, is like, one, I was unhappy. I was unhappy doing what I was doing with that person. They were not a nice person to work for, and it was just a survival job. It was just to get me money to live, and also to make my films and be an actor. But I realize that when I go through tough times now, I look back, because I still have that doubt and that fear and that worry about, oh, what if I don't get another job or whatever. And I look back at that time when I literally had nothing. Not only did I not have money and resources, I didn't have knowledge. Like, I didn't have the knowledge that I have now, and the experience. So when I kind of have my freakouts now, and I'm like worrying about the next thing or whatever, I just look back at that and go, back then I had less money, less resources, less knowledge, and less experience, and I made it out. So there's nothing that can stop me other than my belief system and my focus. So that's where I came up with my saying that I put on my dry erase board, and I remind myself of all the time is, if something doesn't work out, if something's not going the way I want it to, I just say, okay, Brent, how are you going to create your way out of this? I don't go, who's going to help me, or, everybody, it's the world against me. I don't start blaming people. I just go, okay, what can I do next? What can I do? What can I create to, instead of, trying to wait for somebody to give me the next stepping stone, I'll just build the stepping stone. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy. It's definitely easier for somebody to come along and go, here's a job. However, if you know that you have the power to create something, if there's no bridge there, you can build it, then there's nothing that can stop you. So looking back and saying, I slept on a couch, I was unemployed, I got fired at the worst possible time and had no money coming in. Because here's the thing, the next worst thing about that was, it was that happened at the end of my 2-week cycle of payment. So it was like the day or the day before that we were supposed to turn in hours to get paid. So a week later, when I was supposed to get paid, I call him up and I'm like, hey man, I'm calling to get my final paycheck. He's like, you don't get a final paycheck. You damaged this rug. Like, that doesn't even cover a small percentage of the damage. So not only was I not getting paid, but I did 2 weeks worth of work for this guy that I wasn't getting paid for. And so if I started a job that day, it would be another 2 weeks before I got paid anything. It was really tough. But I know now that if I could make it through that, now there's nothing that can stop me. I can take away all this stuff in my apartment, my car, like everything. I know I'm going to be okay, because tomorrow I can get up and I can build something else. Whether it's a web series, whether it's a play, whether it's these videos here, whether it's, write a script and sell it, whether it's, literally build a table and sell that, whatever it is. I have things that are invaluable, things that can't be taken away from me, things I can't be fired from, right? I can't, my knowledge, my experience, my soul, my spirit, my creativity, that can't be taken from me. And that is my power. And so sleeping on a couch, unemployed, getting fired and all that stuff, it was a time in my life. It was tough, but I learned so much about myself, and I realized that I can't be stopped. And I've got my momentum going so much right now that, that's so far behind me, and that way of thinking and that fear of not being able to have a job or get paid, or people are going to like me or not, or what my value is. I know what my value is. And I know that if I can pick myself up from that, there's nothing that can keep me down except for my mindset and my drive and my creativity of creating a way out. So no matter what situation you're in right now, just know that, and you've heard it before, whatever it is you're going through is preparing you for what you say you want, or what you say you want to do. So just remember that. The tough time in your life right now, instead of looking at it as a tough time in your life or going, I don't have this, I don't have that, first of all, be grateful for what you do have. Because even when you're down in the dump, like me sleeping on a couch and unemployed, there's people in America, much less other countries, that don't even have the luxury of having a house or a couch or the ability to get a job. They don't have legs, they don't have hands, they don't have the ability to talk, to see, to hear. It could be so much worse. So be grateful for what you have, first of all. Second of all, stop looking at it as something bad going on in your life, and look at it as an experience. Okay? And I know some people have been in this experience for a long period of time, but maybe that's because you haven't learned the lesson you're supposed to learn from it. Stop complaining, stop blaming other people. Look, quiet yourself, shut your mouth, open your ears, and ask, what can I learn from this? Number one. And then number two, how can I create my way out? Fair enough? Well, that's your Failure Friday for this week. And if anything, get a comfortable couch to sleep on. Okay? So, that's the lesson for this week. Hope it helps. If it does, please like it, share it, leave comments and questions below. If you have anything you want to share, we'll respond to it. We'll get back to it. If you know anybody that this could be valuable for, please share it with them, whether they're an actor or not. Because, as always, at A-Hole Productions, what we're trying to do is inspire and motivate others to follow their dreams and do great things in the world, and be passionate and creative about what they do. And hopefully, this video, has done that. So, do that, and until next time, I'm Brent Harvey with A-Hole Productions. You'll have Joanna next week. She's going to hit you with some crazy knowledge, of course, with one of her failures. It's a big one. So until next time, remember A stands for Avengers and awesome, which you are. We'll see you next time.